Hello, how are you today? Good. Okay. Last week we um, showed the nine type of Enneagram. So the breaking down the types. Did you see the like this Enneagram? It's a drawing is not good. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but this is a star. It's a one type, two type, three type, four type, type 5, type 6, type 6, 7, type 8, type 9. It's a, yeah, so this is the Enneagram personality. The type 1, did you remember Did you remember that? It's the reformer. The reformer, the perfectionistic, idealistic, purposeful, structured type. You see that. Are you the performer? The type 2 is the helper. Helper, the caring, compassionate, giving, possessive type. The type 3, the achiever, the driven, competitive, success-oriented type. Type 4, the individualist. The creative, romantic, express, withdrawing type. Type 5, investigator. The analytical, innovate, perceptive, secretive type. That's type 5. Type 6, the loyalist, reliable, skeptical, responsible type. Type 7, do you know? Enthusiast, the fun-loving, adventurous, scattered, spontaneous type. Is more energy. Yeah? Type 8, the challenger, the bold, confrontational, powerful, domineering type. It's a type 8. The last thing is a type 9 is the peacemaker. The mellow, agreeable, reassuring, complacent type. Did you remember the type? Each personality type has the capacity to have a positive impact on the world in a healthy way and to cause great distress to themselves and others when they are unhealthy. Okay? So today we concern the type 1. The type 1, the reformer. We're gonna learn about the type 1, the reformer. This is a list. Type 1 breakdown. The rational, idealistic, afraid of failure, rigid, moral, afraid of being self-control, passionate about making world a better place. Detail-oriented, motivational, inspirational, structured. It's a structured type, yeah? Did you remember? Dedicated. So, 1 wins 2, 1 wins 9. One wins 2, 1 wins 9. Type 7 in rest. Type 4 stress. In stress. Basic description. Type 1 is described as rational, idealistic, purposeful, and perfectionistic. They are known for having a great deal of structure and self-control in their everyday life. Type 1s are motivated by the desire to be considerate, right, and good. They attempt to have justification for everything they say and they do. And they go above and beyond expectations in all areas of life. They are consistent, attempted to avoid condemnation. They don't like. Their focus lies on improving the world about them, being a good person, doing the right things. They are likely to bring a sense of direction, morality, and thought of action into any environment they enter or project they choose to take on. Type 1 is, as the word is, black and white. There is a right and there is a wrong. We do know in between. Type 1 take comfort in the rules and regulations and place a lot of important following the rules, systems, and structures put in place. Type 1s are detail-oriented and assume that everyone should be looking to do things in the best possible ways. They are always seeking perfection, and they dedicate themselves to constant self-improvement and improvement of the world as a whole. The wins, type 1 with 9 levels out the intense need for perfection. It's a type 9 is a peacemaker, right? It's a type 1 with wing 9 toward the perfection with a greater sense of calm, flexibility, and openness to collaboration. Heart leads to a heightened and sense of compassion for others, more sacrifice for of the types one's own need, and focusing their idealism on service to others. Instinctive personality. Instinctive personality means subtypes. Type 1 in the self-prevention instinct is dedicated to self-care routines, health, exercise, to a point of rigidity at times. Want to prevent any sort of future discomfort or threat to their safety or health. Type 1s and the social instinct often experience conflict between the adaptability features of the social instinct and the perfectionist tendencies of their personality. They bring this perfectionism into their presence with other people and how they model the right way of doing things in social setting. In the sexual instinct, type 1 have inclination to perfect themselves and focus their energy on finding the perfection in others. They have strong opinions on what is right and what is wrong, and leave little room for any gray area, white and black, no gray. They want to play a role in perfecting those around them. The strengths and superpowers. Good in both leadership and the team members' roles. That's very good. Show up with ability to maintain structure, the motivation to others, the legend, and reliable in finishing what they say they will do. Passionate, consistent, dedicated to making the world a better place. The popular type first is prior first lady. Do you know the Obama's wife, Michelle Obama? Evident to perfectionist, she's evident perfectionist tendencies, high principle, and consistent desire to do things the right way. Value of health, wellness, and making the world a better place. we are looking for the fears and challenges about type 1. Fearful of being corrupt, evil, or flawed, afraid of failure, tense, rigid, critical of self and others, can come off as overcritical or judgmental due to their personal agenda, easily stressed out, can be inflexible, can experience extreme frustration and confusion with those who don't understand their perceived best way of doing things. In rest, the point of integration is a growth. Yeah. When a type 1 feels safe and at their best, they can drop their guards and allow the joyfulness, playfulness, calm, and a fun-loving attitude of a type 7 to shine through. Yeah? They maintain structure for their goals, accomplish notable things in the world, and feel satisfactory and secure with themselves while also exhibiting optimism, open-mindedness, spontaneity, and time for rest. But in stress, that points out this disintegration in stress. When type 1s are in period of stress and insecurity, they often adopt the moodiness and heightened emotionality of type 4. This can cause a loss of control over emotion, depression, feeling melancholy, and the tendency to withdraw from the world. So, their spiritual life, true self, is joyful. Knowledge that the world and the beings in it are innately good. Separation from the true self, separation from the true self is, do you know, ego? Yeah. Ego tried to create a false sense of perfection, forcing a type 1 into risk overdrive in the attempt to do everything perfectly and protect themselves from what is bad. Type 1s enter into internal struggle in which they are constantly trying to make things perfect in the way that is not possible, criticizing themselves and others, and struggling to ever feel fully satisfied. So, their root seem anger, resentment. Arises from all the perceived injustice and the shortcomings of itself, others, and the world. The root seed, anger, resentment. Pass back to the true self, coming to rest in their truth. Coming to rest in their truth, God-given selves by overcoming the sins of judgment. Close-mindedness and anger through the virtue of a serena, non-reactive heart with a greater capacity for love, compassion, and patience. Okay. Love, compassion, and patience. They need healthy levels. The level 1 is a healthy level. It's a level average level, unhealthy level. The level 1, 2, 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 10. It's a healthy levels, level 1. Execute wisdom and discernment with complete acceptance and grace for what is. Clear thinking and able to identify what is most needed in a given moment. Have a drug passion and hope for humanity and serve as a leaders and inspirations in movements toward positive change. That's a level 1. It's a very healthy level. The level 2, also healthy level, has a sense of a strong personal convictions and intense insight into who they truly are. The convictions they hold, and their moral and religious values exhibit high levels of maturity, self-discipline, and rational decision making. Level 3, dedicated to the pursuit of fairness, justice, and ethical treatment for everyone. They are honest, responsible, principled, full of integrity, and able to see every situation objectively. Level 4 is average level. Is idealist who feel great dissatisfaction with the world as it is. Their inner circle is active, and they assume responsibility for bringing the world to the way it should be through activism and intense explanation of right and wrong. So level 5, orderly and well organized and place a lot of value on being consistent with their goals. They are afraid of making mistakes and tend to be rigid and emotionally constructed so as not to react in a way they feel is irrational or impulsive. Level 6, inner circle speaks in a way which can cause great unrest for the type 1s and those around them. Type 1s will be picky, opinionate, judgmental, overly perfectionistic, and constantly in a state of distress at how people are doing things. It's a level 7 through the 10 is an unhappy level. It's a 9. Level 7 is a start to show intolerance, inflexibility, and self-righteous attitude. Everyone who does not think the way they do is horribly wrong and disgraceful for not doing things according to the type 1's ideas. Right. So level 8 become overly controlling in their obsession with how others are doing things. Unhealthy and addictive behaviors arise as a way of trying to maintain control in the midst of obsession. Level 9, the intense pressure for perfection can become too much to handle and can lead to cruelty and severe psychological alignment, including obsessive compulsive tendencies, disordered eating, drinking, sleeping, and exercising, as well as addiction, nervous breakdown, depression, and suicidal thoughts or attempt. Now we're talking about the type 2, the helper. The helper. Type 2 helper, helpful, generous, warm, loving, afraid of not being loved, attention seeking, compassionate, parental type. nurtures and turn with the needs of others. Caretakers, gentle, detail-oriented, the same thing, yeah? About Taiwan. Emotionally overbearing, desire to be appreciated, two with one, two with three, wing. Type 2 wins 1, type 2's win 3. 2 wins 1 or 2 wins 3. The type 4 is rest. Type 4 is a rest. Type 4 rest. In stress, type 8. Basic descriptions. Types 2s are helpful, generous, warm, and loving, and they act on the idea of a loving being owned by what we do for others. They are considerate, giving, patient, and quick to forgive when people do them wrong. The primary motivation for type 2s is to feel loved and liked, and they value making everyone else in their life feel loved as well. Type 2s often do things they believe will earn them the love they desire and make them be perceived as moral lovable. They are highly in tune with other people's emotional experience, and they tend to adjust their own behaviors to meet the needs of those around them. Often labeled as the parent type, it is natural for them to be selfish and showing their love however they can. They spend a lot of time thinking about how they are perceived, and they put great energy into creating warm and compassionate persona. It is important for types 2s to be perceived as good by those around them, and they want that perception to be expressed to them. Wings. Type 2 wing 1 combined generosity, idealism, and the pursuit of justice and righteousness. This leads to investment in causes that are important to them and being generous with their resources of time and money. Type 2 wing 3 tends to experience balance, desire of giving and achieving. These types have an acute sense of focus on what is needed in the workplace and organization. They are involved in and will be intentional about helping themselves along with other people. Instinctive possibility, the subtype. The type 2s and the self-preservation instinct have the desire to the revered and cherished for exactly who they are, rather than what they are doing for other people and the world. The type 2 wants to be taken care of and protected by other people. Type 2 in the social instinct are ambitious and largely in front of others. They tended to have more maturity and wide scale influence than the other instincts, and they can make powerful leaders. Type 2 in the sexual instinct focus on seduction. They want to be desired by others and put a lot of energy into being considered attractive. They are in constant pursuit of a meaningful relationship, and their monogamy is not uncommon. Stress and the superpower. Type 2, the hyper strengths show love in every way possible. Nature caretakers and nurturers, compassionate, generous, show love through acts of service to others, patient, bring out the best in others, interact well with children. It's a popular type 2 is the Dolly pattern. Exhibits optimism, generosity, empathy, and a desire to care for others. Values kindness and social interaction. What is the fears and challenges about type 2? Fears being unwanted or feeling unworthy of love. Desperate of feel needed may suppress their own needs in the process of meeting other needs. Can struggle to set the adequate boundaries for themselves, may experience pent-up resentment when they feel others don't care about them. Expert people to anticipate their needs ahead of time and become angry when it doesn't happen. In rest, the growth in period of rest, in growth and security type 2s move to a type 4 state of taking more time to explore in their emotional expressions, in their creativity, and becoming a saint, having fun, having for those around them. part in stress. When type 2s are experiencing stress and insecurity, they take on angry, resentful, explosive feelings of the low point of type 8. The low points of type 8. In this state, they can become more neglectful of the feelings of others out of their frustration. Yeah. True self is type 2's true self knows that they are deeply beloved and they resonate with the feeling of having been created by divine purpose to share the love of God in the world. Separation from true self is ego becomes needy of others to reconvince them that they matter. This can lead to demanding, manipulation, and pride, causing tattoos to help and serve others for the sole purpose of receiving what they want. The serve spirit can easily become a channel of ego identification in which they are serving others for the wrong reasons, sacrificing until they have nothing left. In growing energy, in feeling that they have not been given what they deserve. So, the loved scene, pride. Arising from the extreme need to be needed. The path back to the true self, achieving spiritual recognition of their true motive, giving for the purpose of receiving, which leads to understand the way they may have been more harmful than helpful to others, helpful to the ones they love. They can then become free from the constant need for attention and affirmation and can achieve humility and exhibit true grace and compassion unto others. Healthy level. So level 1, humble and unselfish. They love unconditionally and find great joy in their presence in other people's lives. Know how to value and care for their personal needs in addition to the needs of others. Level 2, exhibit profound deep empathy and compassion and are able to experience other people's feelings as their own. They are warm heart, forgiving and thoughtful of others, and their service is not underlined by any ulterior motive. Level 3, appreciative of people in their lives, and able to highlight the good qualities in the people. They are constantly sharing love and encouragement and being nurturing and generous to others. Average level. Level 4. Stop trying to please others as a way of drawing closer to them. They may become overbearing in their emotionality, over friendliness, self-proclaimed good intentions, and over-the-top flattery. Level 5 can become very intrusive of others' personal space out of their desire to be needed. They express intimacy in uncomfortable ways and can become controlling and possessive over others in the name of love. Level 6. Begin to overrate themselves and the efforts they make on the behalf of others, becoming increasingly patronizing. Service to others become a source of egocentricity, which can lead to feelings of self-improvement and martyrdom. Unhealthy level. Level 7 is, can become increasingly self-serving and can manipulate others to get what they want. They keep a record of wrongs in the sense of making others feel guilty about everything they've done for them. And they want others to feel like they owe them something. They begin to belittle and undermine people and develop a dramatic misconception of their own motive, often completely blind to how selfish and harmful their behaviors are. Level 8 becomes coercive and domineering and develops a sense of entitlement to receive what other people owe them. This can include money, material gifts, time, and sexual favor. The level 9 involves intense victimization, which tools try to rationalize with descriptions of the abuse they feel they've endured and they resent that has overtaken them as a result. Become increasingly aggressive and vindictive, which manifest physically in chronic health problems and psychologically in the histrionic personality disorder and factitious disorder. Today, we explored the type 1 and the type 2. Next class, we talked about the type 3 and the type 4. Okay, see you, bye-bye. See you next.